Morning, ladies in sports, YouTube, Facebook, and this is the DOUG here once again, and it's time for Week 9. But before we get to Week 9, of course, we have last week to recap and notes and my college games and the two on the outside looking in, which I'm sure that one's going to cause a lot of go to London, and we're going to get to Cleveland later because I should say yesterday. The Bills defeated the Raiders, the Bengals defeated the Colts, my Ups just lost to the Falcons in heartbreaking fashion. Panthers defeated the Buccaneers. The
Doug can talk right now. I am in school. Talk to you later.
Okay, Kai. Well, this is my picks for this week anyway, so really no talking unless you love football. Steelers wonderful game either. So I went 9-4 for the season. I am 72 in wins and 47 in losses. Not bad at all. Let's get to the Week 9 notes. The 49ers traded a 2018 second-round draft pick.
I hope you saw my comment about Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State.
I may have, Andrew. We will find out later. You'll see. Back to the notes, though. The Niners traded a second-round draft pick for New England Patriots quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo.
And after bowing, I will talk to you.
No problem, Kyle. The 49ers have also decided to release veteran quarterback Brian Hoyer. A source said Garoppolo, 25, is scheduled to become an unrestricted free agent after the season. The 49ers are likely to keep him by signing him to a new deal or tagging him as a franchise player. Also, just as a heads up, the Niners also let go of cornerback Will Redmond, if I'm saying that correctly, from the injured reserve list. The Seahawks have acquired Pro Bowl left tackle D. Brown in a trade with the Texans. Seattle is sending cornerback... Let me say that again. Seattle is sending cornerback Jeremy Lane to Houston along with a 2018 fifth-round draft pick and a 2019 second-round pick, sources told Adam Schefter. Teams with the bye this week are the 3-5 Bears, the 0-8 Browns, the 6-2 Vikings, the 6-2 Patriots, the 6-2 Steelers, and the 3-5 Chargers. Judge denies Ezekiel Elliott request for injunction. His 6-game suspension is back in effect. He was never charged with any crime by authorities who investigated the allegations, though, so the NFL, as far as I'm concerned, is suspending him for no reason.
49ers are still a team?
Yeah,
LOL.
The 49ers are still a team, surprisingly. The NFL Players Association has filed an emergency motion for an injunction pending an appeal on behalf of Dallas Cowboy running back Ezekiel Elliott, and he is still going to fight this. So this could be like longer than the Patriots situation with Brady. So we'll see. The Miami Dolphins did something weird on Tuesday. They traded running back J.A. to the Philadelphia Eagles for a fourth-round draft pick. The disaster of a season continues for the Giants. They suspending starting quarterback Tuesday for the second time in 3 weeks after Jay Jenkins failed to return from the bye week on time. Jenkins is suspended indefinitely. He will miss this Sunday's game against the Los Angeles Rams. Going back to San Francisco now, the Niners have traded cornerback Rashard Robertson to the New York Jets. The Niners will get an undisclosed 2018 draft pick in exchange. And lastly, before we get to how bad the Browns organization is, the Panthers have traded top wide receiver Calvin Benjamin, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, to the Bills for a third and seventh round draft pick in the 2018 draft. The third rounder is the Bills pick, not the franchise acquired from the Eagles in a separate deal. The 2018 seventh-round pick was acquired in a July trade with the Chargers for quarterback Gerard Jones. In Buffalo, Benjamin will be reunited with Bills head coach Shane M. and general manager Brandon Beane, both of whom used to work for Carolina. And now we get to Cleveland, who gets the Dum Dum of the Week award. They were about to set up a trade with Cincinnati to get the backup quarterback for the Bengals at about $350. Bengals sent in the paperwork. The Browns forgot to send in the trade paperwork, so no trade happened. So you're 0-8, you have quarterback issues, you failed to make the trade to get a quarterback. What's still good to be about in Cleveland? Because the Cavaliers are even slipping. So yeah, not exactly a great time to be a Browns fan. And oh, by the way, just as a heads up, they do have a game this week. No, they're off this week, I think I said. Yeah, they're off this week. So even doing the bye week, they screw up. Now let's get to my college for a little bit. I did hear about the situation with the Florida Gators. I'm not surprised by that. I was expecting that to happen. Now, I'm going to give you my top 4 teams in the playoffs and the 2 I have on the outside looking in. Now, here's my thing. To me, I base it on record. And I also have a rule where I don't add 2 teams from the same conference in. Just because of the fact of they'll probably eliminate each other anyway. So I'm just going to choose the best one who I think is the best team right now. And then I'll add, if one of the other ones loses, I'll put them in. So my top 4 is as follows. Undefeated Alabama at 1. Number 2 is Wisconsin. Yes, I know they haven't really played anybody great, but you're still undefeated. Ohio State has a loss, so I got to put Wisconsin in. Miami, again, another team that's undefeated, even though they're flirting with disaster. It looks like they could lose every week, but they end up winning somehow. They're undefeated. I got to put them in, but they're flirting with disaster. I don't think they'll make it unless they win out at this point in the committee's eyes. Not my eyes, the committee's eyes. And then 4th is UCF. Undefeated school. Unfortunately, the problem with them is they're not in a big conference. A lot of people don't even know that's a school or has a football team, so they probably won't even get in, but this is just me showing love to them. I'll probably 5. Ohio State at number 6. Yes, while Ohio State did beat Penn State, Oklahoma did beat Ohio. And Iowa State, that loss that everyone thought looked bad, is actually looking pretty good now because Iowa State's did it twice now, beating a top-ranked team. Clemson and Notre Dame, which I'm happy Notre Dame's in. But they have 1 loss, so I kind of find it hard. But at least with Notre Dame, I can say their loss is better because they lost to Georgia. Clemson lost to Syracuse. I was like, why are they in the top 4? They should be at like number 5 and number 6. But I digest. Notre Dame I have on the outside looking in. I have them on like 7th on mine. Then I have Penn State, Oklahoma State. And then I have the biggest surprise, Virginia Tech at number 10 in mine. Getting to the college games now. Let me flip my paper real quick. I have Penn State over Michigan State this weekend. My upset pick is South Carolina over Georgia. Iowa State over West Virginia. And I know this is going to make you happy, Andrew. Well, I got the game up. But I have Oklahoma over Oklahoma State. I think Oklahoma is the better team. I think this will be one of the better games to watch, though, on Saturday afternoon. But I got Oklahoma. I'm sorry, I can't pick Oklahoma State in this one. Oklahoma just looks... Even that loss against Iowa State, which looks good now, I think Oklahoma's still the better team. Now, whoever loses that game between Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, they're not making the playoff. Period. They're done. And I'd say this now. Penn State's kind of screwed themselves with the loss because Michigan ain't looking great. Michigan State, while looking good now, they could fall. So Penn State really going to have to win out and hope Ohio State gets at least 2 more losses. That's the only chance they got as far as I am concerned. Georgia, same thing. Georgia and Alabama, they're probably going to eliminate one another in the SEC title game, so that's that, unless Georgia blows it. And Virginia Tech and Miami, both teams can still get in, but I think the loser of this one will be out of contention. And again, that's just my opinion. And breaking news, Cowboys Cole Beasley did not practice today due to the concussion protocol. He may miss this Sunday's game against the Chiefs. So if you have Cole Beasley in your fantasy league team or Ezekiel Elliott, you may want to do some switching. Alright, let's get to the games this week. We start off on Thursday night. Tomorrow night it is the Bills and Jets, aka the game that will make everybody go colorblind because it will be bright-ass red and bright-ass green. I got the Bills on the road over the Jets. Jets, while they're a decent team, the Bills are just better overall, so I got the Bills. Moving on, we have the Falcons taking on the Panthers. This was one of my harder games for this week. Both teams have been having ups and downs. I got the Panthers, though. Falcons have not been has not been good as they were last year. They have not impressed me as much. Carolina, same thing, though, but it's a rivalry game, and it's one of those games that's hard to call because of how they've played this year. But Panthers at home should win. Next, Texans at home against the Colts. I got the Texans, even with all the things going on off the field. They're still a better team than the Colts. Colts have so many issues, it's ridiculous. Andrew Luck probably won't even be there next year. I don't even know if the coach will be there for the Colts next year, so I got the Texans in that one. And that's not my luck of the week, though. Next, we got the Bengals traveling to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars, and I can't believe I'm doing this. I got the Jaguars over the Bengals. Jaguars are one of the most surprising teams this year. There's a lot of them, to be honest, but this is one of the most surprising ones because a lot of, every year everyone's like, oh, this is the Jackson goes to the Super Bowl, makes the playoffs. And I haven't believed it ever. I had never believed it. This year it could happen because of how bad that division is. Colts are terrible. Someone's fucking with my lights. Colts are terrible. Texans are not that good. They got a good offense. And the Titans are looking okay, but Jaguars are the best team. So I got the Jags in that game. Next, we head to New Orleans because the Saints are marching in at home to take on the Buccaneers. And the Buccaneers really suck. I got the Saints at home in this one. They're just going to stomp over them. They're marching in with the drums and the saxophones and everything else. So New Orleans, get ready to play some good old music. New Orleans style, baby. Because when the Saints go marching in, they're gonna get another win. And Drew Brees will define Father Time. Moving on to my lock of the week, it is the Rams that going on the road to take on the Giants. I got the Rams here. Giants are just terrible. They're terrible. They're terrible. Just terrible. And it's sad because I think a lot of people would have thought the Giants would have been a good team, but between only having one win, the injuries piling up like it's buy one injured player, get one free sale going on. Giants are terrible. Rams should win this game. I'm actually putting all the two Rams players I have in this game in fantasy. That's how bad I think the Giants are. Moving on to the next game at 1 o'clock. By the way, my favorite 1 o'clock game, Falcons and Panthers is going to be one of my favorite ones, and the Ravens and Titans. So those are my two favorite 1 o'clock games if you can watch one of those two. Check your local area for your time. Next, we go to the Philadelphia Eagles as they take on the Broncos. Broncos, since beating Dallas, have not looked great. The defense has not looked good. The offense has had issues. We just saw them lose to the Chiefs, and then they did not play well on either side of the ball. I got the Eagles on this one. This should be an easy game for the Eagles with the way Denver's playing. And Philadelphia does have the best record in the NFL right now, which I think that shocks everybody as well. Just another thing to go on with this shocking year we're having. But I got Philly at home. Next, it is the Ravens on the road taking on the Titans. I got the Ravens here. It looks like they bounced back from that dumpster fire of a few weeks ago when they got blown out in London by the Jaguars. Looks like they're coming back. We'll see if they can beat the Titans. Titans do have a good offense. The defense is questionable by both teams, but I think Ravens, particularly how they played against Miami, I got the Ravens on the road. Next, and I can't believe I'm doing this, David Goodrich, if you're watching this, you're going to probably go, Doug must have been drunk when he made this pick. It is the Cardinals going to San Francisco to take on the Niners. This is my upset pick of the week. By the way, my lock of the week, if I did not mention it, was the Rams over the Giants. My upset pick, I got the Niners over the Cardinals. Niners have to win eventually. Cardinals have injuries. I don't know who the starting quarterback is because I know it ain't Carson Palmer. Yes, the Cardinals have AP. He's going to probably do well, but it's hard to win in the NFL when you're back up, when you don't have your key star quarterback. Now, if you have good receivers and good running back or good O-line, your backup can win. But we've seen in the past with the Cardinals, their backups are not what I would call great. So I'm going to take the Niners in an upset here, which I'm shocked to myself when I made that pick, but I just feel with all the injuries the Cardinals have, I think Niners, this is probably the best chance to get a win right now. So Niners at home in an upset. Next, we head to Seattle. The Seahawks play the Redskins. The Redskins coming off that heartbreaking loss to the Cowboys, really needing help now. The Redskins may not be able to win the division now because they've lost divisional games. They've actually played pretty bad. By the way, at the end of this, I'm going to give you the records for every team in the in the divisions, everything else after this. I got the Seahawks here. Seahawks show that even in a shootout they can win. They beat the Texans. Redskins have issues, and it always seems to lead back to Kirk Cousins. Now, I defended Kirk Cousins. A lot of people blamed him for the loss, which you can't really blame him to a degree because of the fact of how many old linemen are they on? They started, what, 5 new linemen, I think it was, this past week. They're on their third tight end. I think he got hurt. Redskins are just looking injured, and it's very unfortunate because the Redskins I had as a playoff team this year, but not to happen. Okay, we know I'm taking the Cowboys to beat the Chiefs. That's obvious. Moving to the Sunday night game, this is a hard one because Raiders have been up and down. Miami not really looking that great. Miami got blown out this past week. Originally, I think this game looked good on paper because of how well they did last year, but now it's kind of not as great as it once looked. This is technically a playoff elimination game to a degree because the loser of this would be in big trouble. So both teams need this win. I'm taking the Raiders here. I think maybe they finally bounce back. We shall see. But I got the Raiders. And then Monday night, which was another hard pick, no Aaron Rodgers. Packers haven't looked good with the backup quarterback. Lions have had issues all year, But I got Detroit here. Green Bay's just looked bad to me. Since Rodgers has went down, they have looked bad. So my picks, just to go over them one more time: the Bills, Ravens, Saints, Rams are my lock of the week. Eagles, Panthers, Jaguars, Texans, Niners in my upset. Seahawks, Cowboys, Raiders, and the Lions. I would love to know your pick in the comment section below. And like I said, I would be giving the conference the records in the NFL real quick. Thank God for Xfinity. Let me tell my box on real quick. I should have wrote these down, but I did not. Here are the current standings right now in the AFC. In the East, the Patriots are ahead right now at 6-2, 1-0 in the division, followed by the Buffalo Bills at 5-2 and 1-0 in the division. Miami is 4-3, they're 1-1 in the division, and the Jets are 3-5, 1-3 in the division. In the North, the Steelers lead that right now at 6-2. They got a bye this week. They're 3-0 in the division. Baltimore is 4-4 and 2-1 in the division. The Bengals are 3-4 in the division. 3-4 in the wins and losses. They're 1-2 in the division. Cleveland 0-8. They haven't won a divisional game. Cleveland, by the way, is eliminated from the playoffs. Mathematically eliminated. In the South, the Titans and Jaguars hold the first spot at 4-3 and 2-1 in the division, but the Titans hold the tiebreaker. Houston's 3-4, 1-1 in the division, and the Colts are 2-6 overall, but in the division they're 0-2. In the West, Kansas City Chiefs lead that at 6-2. In the division, they're 2-1. Denver's right behind them at 3-4, but they're 2-2 in the division. Chargers and Raiders are tied at 3-5, but Chargers hold the tiebreaker because of the division record 2-2. Raiders are 1-2 in the division. So, if the players were to start today, it would be the following: Patriots, Kansas City, Pittsburgh, Titans, going in as the 4 divisional champs, and the wild card teams would be the Bills and it'd be Miami or Jacksonville because they both have 4-3. I don't know how that tiebreaker would work. In the NFC, the Eagles are leading the East at 7-1, followed by Dallas at 4-3. If they lose one more game, they'll probably be out of it at that point for a playoff spot. In the North, the Vikings control their own destiny at 6-2. They're 2-1 in the division, followed by Green Bay 4-3 and 1-1 in the division. Lions are 3-4, but they are 1-0 in the division, so Lions can still control their fate to a degree. Bears are 3-5, but 0-2 in the division. Vikings did benefit from the Packers losing Aaron Rodgers because that division can now be run by the Vikings if Vikings just continue to win. In the South, the Saints are 5-2 and 1-0 in the division. They are number 1, followed by the Panthers at 5-3, who are 1-1 in the division. Atlanta's 4-3, but have not played any divisional games yet. This would be the first divisional game this weekend. Tampa Bay's 2-5 and 0-1 in the division. And in the West, Seattle and the Rams are tied for that number 1 spot in the West. Seahawks, though, hold the divisional tiebreakers. They're 2-0. Rams are 2-1 in the division. Arizona's 3-4 overall in the division. They're 1-1. San Francisco's 0-8, and in the division they're 0-3. Niners are mathematically eliminated. If the players were to start this weekend, here's how the NFC conference would go. Eagles would be the 1 seed at 7-1, followed by the Vikings at number 2. Saints and Seahawks would be 3rd and 4th respectively. And the 2 wildcard teams would be the Panthers and the Rams. So that's how it goes for the AFC and NFC. These probably will change in the next few weeks. We shall see. Till next time, this is the DIUG signing off saying good luck to your college and pro teams this weekend. And we'll see you next week for week number 10. Good luck to all, and good luck to everyone. Unless you're Kansas City, sorry. Wake Forest fans, because I don't want my Notre Dame or my Cowboys to lose. But have a good week, everybody.